Hi there. So today we are going to be showing you how to cut basil. This plant is called sweet basil. It's perfect for your stews, for your sauces, pasta, garnishing, even in spicing your meat, and it's also very good for teas. Basil is like an emergency plant. You can use it anytime you want to, and even on your skin, for wounds, whatever. It's like an all-round plant, right? One of the most important aspects of basil is that it is a healing plant. It makes your food safe. It nullifies harmful substances in your dishes, in your food, makes your food very safe, and that's why it also very speedy when it comes to healing, even on the outside and your skin, any part of the body, just any part. It's an all-rounder, right? There's really nothing you cannot use basil for. So I'm going to be showing you how to harvest it, just so that you don't harm the plant, and so that even after harvesting, the growth still continues. Now your basil might not be this big, or maybe might be bigger. First of all, one thing to look out for is for the parts that may have flowers, something like this. You should always take off the flowers first of all, because you don't need any of that. The flowers will also hinder the growth. The flowers will make the leaves not to come out so fast, and then if your basil has too much of flowers, it will end up dropping up so much leaves. It's like the plant is telling you bye, right? It's like it's getting old and it's telling you bye, I want to go, and it's trying to drop off some seeds and some babies. So now here we go. You want to cut your basil, say for stew, for a pot of stew, say for 3-4 people. You come here, right? Now you don't pick only the leaves. This is wrong. Do not do this. Do not pick only this, except you need extremely very little quantity to achieve what you want to achieve, right? Like you just want to maybe make an omelette, or just something very little, then you can just go for something like this. But if you're taking a quantity, you should not do this, right? This is wrong. You should cut your basil with the stem, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So you should also look out for the longest stems, the longest part of your plant. You don't come and take what part now? Okay, this is a very small stem coming up here. You don't want to cut this one because it's just coming up, and this is probably a branch, right? So you don't want to take off a small stem like this. You come for a longer stem like this, probably that is off the shape, like you're trying to give the plant shape, as I always tell my clients. Cut the plants like you're trying to give it shape, like you're trying to help it, like you're trying to guide it, right? So you come here, for example, and then you snip it off right here. This is how you should cut your basil. Taking off the leaves and then adding to your dishes, that will be done in your kitchen, right? So do not take off only the leaves, except you need it for a very little quantity. It's wrong. Let me show you another spot where you can cut. Now, assuming you have just say 2 very long stems here, and you want to cut. By very long stems, I mean stems that come from underneath, like very long, right? Now you shouldn't cut from here. Do not cut off from the end, this spot, from the end right here. No, you shouldn't. You should cut off, say, just give the plant some space where it can still branch. Look out for the very green spots. You can see the spot here is still green, right? Here you can see the spot right here is still very green, so it shows that this is a vegetative part of the plant, so it could still branch out, right? So that's the spot where you should cut within this range. Do not cut from very dry parts. This is an example of a very dry part here. If you cut from here, it's going to be very difficult for the plant to branch out again, so you cut off from the vegetative part. This is the way to cut your basil. Again, you go here, giving it some gaps underneath to still branch out, and then there you go. So you see the plant is still intact, right? It doesn't look like it has been touched. Growth will still continue, and the plant will do very well. Also, make sure you always check out for your plants, the soil of your plants. Make sure the soil is always loose. As you can see how loose the soil is, make sure it's always loose and rich, so that as you're cutting your plants, you're adding nutrients, you're adding water, and you're making sure that it's coming up. You top up nutrients every 2 to 3 times in a week. This applies to all plants, all herbs, right? Not just basil. So here I have cut my basil, and this will serve me a very good pot of stew, pasta sauce, whatever I want to use it for, garnish my meat or whatever. Thank you. See you in our next video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our videos. Thank you.